Hello, students of ninth class. I'm your teacher, Francis Paul, sir. So we have completed 3 chapters and also some exercises, and I hope that you're preparing your chapter well. Now we are entering into a new chapter, that is chapter 4 of your history, that is a Mauryan Empire. So we will study in this, the Maurya Empire, how from the small kingdoms we have studied the Aryans, settlements, we have studied 2 religions, 2 sects coming up, that is Buddhism and Jainism. And with that, we also studied that there were bigger kingdom formed, not empire, but bigger kingdom. I will tell you what is empire later on. But let's go background to the Maurya Empire. What kind of northern India or central India was? Ruled by whom? So this is the map, students. This is the early Aryan settlements. You can see Magadha kingdom, which was bigger and strong, located somewhere in Bihar now at present. And then further we go, we have many small kingdoms. Most of the kingdoms are under Magadha. So you can see here the early settlements, Vatsa, Vanti, Kusala. But from all these kingdoms, there was a bigger kingdom, Magadha, ruled by Nanda dynasty, somewhere now in Bihar. And Nanda dynasty was considered to be a low caste. So still there was influence of the Brahmins. Many kings were influenced and guided by the Brahmins, but here Nanda was not that much guided by the Brahmins. So Kautilya, there was a Kautilya, a Brahmin, very intelligent, very clever, witty, but had been ill-treated by the Nandas. So somewhere how he wanted to take revenge. And he also had a determination to create a pan-Indian empire. So he got a Chandragupta Maurya, who also did not like Nanda dynasty, and even most of the people of Magadha Empire, because Nanda dynasty charged heavy taxes on the people. So I am teaching you this as a background. What condition was of northern India. So both of them determined to overpower the Magadha Empire or the Magadha kingdom from Nanda. So Chandragupta struggled a lot to capture the whole area with the help of other local kingdoms. And soon he captured the Magadha Empire. And it was ever first time after capturing Magadha in the history, that first time ever India was created as the empire. Earlier there was a small settlements, small cities. But now what happened? First time ever all this green part was ruled by Chandragupta Maurya, who created a pan-Indian empire and centralized his administration. So that is all kingdom. Here even Kalinga, where Ashoka fought and changed his life. So now what is the difference between a small kingdoms and the empire? Kingdom is a small area ruled by a king. And when all these kingdoms come under one banner, under one king, it is considered as the empire. And the king of all these kingdoms is known as the emperor. So Chandragupta, with the help of Chanakya, created a pan-Indian empire. Now students, let's come back to the chapter, the Maurya Empire. We are going to focus on sources. That is Arthashastra, written by Kautilya, Chanakya even. Indica, written by Megasthenes, a Greek scholar or ambassador. Then we have Ashokan Edicts, and then Sanchi Stupa. Ashokan Edicts are the decrees or the laws given by Ashoka. And Sanchi Stupa is a building, a religious building where relics of Buddha are kept. Then we are going to study the political history. That means which are the kings or the emperors who ruled India under Maurya Empire. First we have Chandragupta, and then we have Bindusara, and then Ashoka the Great, who changed the political scenario and administration as a whole and brought as a spiritual kingdom. So students, the Maurya Empire was founded in the 4th century BC by Chandragupta Maurya, who organized a powerful army and laid the foundation of vast empire. His successor, Bindusara, kept the Maurya Empire intact and further extended its boundaries. The reign of Bindusara's son, Ashoka, constituted one of the brightest periods in the Indian history. So that we will study in detail later. So let us see the sources. The first source we have is Arthashastra of Kautilya. So it is the most important source, Arthashastra, written by Kautilya. It is a comprehensive manual that deals with politics, rules of diplomacy, principles of administration, and other such political topics. This book was discovered even in 1909. Then we have Indica. Megasthenes was the Greek ambassador because it's written by Megasthenes, Indica. He had been sent to court by Seleucus, the successor of Alexander the Great. So we get a lot of information, social, religious, and political information from the Indica book. And I already told you what information we get from Arthashastra. Next we have is archaeological sources, that's edicts of Ashoka. So what is an edict? An edict is a decree issued by a sovereign. Sovereign means the government, the emperor. The edicts of Ashoka form the most source of Maurya history. They are the oldest one. And now, what is important for us? The inscription on these edicts provide a useful insight into the life and deeds of Ashoka in particular, and about the history of Maurya in general. The most important event of Ashoka's reign was the conquest of Kalinga, where he gave up Bharigosha, that means drum beats, war of drum beats, and accepted Dharmghosha, the call to non-violence and universal peace. So students, that was about edicts of Ashoka. Now we have a building, a Sanchi Stupa. We get a lot of information. Yes, it's a dome type building. So the stupa is a semi-spherical solid dome like a structure made of unburnt bricks and stones. The Buddhist stupa has special significance. It represents the spiritual body of Buddha, containing his relics such as hair, teeth, or bones. So students, you might have understood what's the meaning of relics. A place or a thing which contains either the bone, hair, teeth, cloth of a saint. So Sanchi Stupa is considered a very holy place, a religious place by the Buddhist. The foundation of Sanchi Stupa was laid by Ashoka, about 45 kilometers from Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. So there are 4 gateways in 4 directions. Buddha is represented by symbols like the people tree, lotus or wheel, etc. So that's all of the sources from this chapter, the Maurya Empire. And in the second part, we'll study the political history and the administration of a Maurya Empire. So, prepare it well, read it well. Bye-bye.